Hey everyone, so today's video we're going to be doing a complete walkthrough of Void Tower Mythic. So most of this stuff is straightforward, but I know there's a couple levels here. There's probably 4 or 5 levels that are a little tricky. So I'm going to walk you through that, and we'll go from there. So the team that I'm showing here revolves around Onamaros, which most teams do. Now, you don't need Onamaros, but you're going to need the twins, so this is definitely an easier route. It is possible to do this without Onamaros being Ascended 5, but it will go way faster if you do have him Ascended 5, because anytime someone launches or misses their turn, he launches a bonus attack with his basic ability, and it deals 15% true damage. This is what makes it go really fast, because all of the health of the enemies in Void Tower Mythic are extremely large, so this just chunks away. He does have the true damage on his special ability, but it's only at the end of the round, so that's why it's much slower, but it is doable. Okay, so Onamaros is the key player here. All he has is high health, high enough speed, and then enough focus to land his freezes. Now, the other heroes that I'm going to show you, this matters. Like, the speed tuning will matter if you don't have the other heroes that I show you, and I'll talk about that before we jump into the runs. The gear he has is stun, so Onamaros has the freeze on his ultimate and on his basic, which is where he'll be doing all of his bonus attacks. So he's doing a bunch of freezes and making people miss their turns, which allows him to do his bonus attacks. But whenever he does his bonus attacks or his ultimate, which is an AoE, you want the stun set on there, or the rebel set, to make sure that you also have a chance to land stun. This is really important as well if you don't have the other hero that I'm going to tell you about, because the stuns, as most people know, can't be removed, but Frozen can. Whenever someone is attacked, there's a 50% chance that it removes freeze. So this is one of the downsides to Onamaros, but if you have Frostbringer, I think that's his name. No, Tidecaller. Tidecaller. If you have Tidecaller in his trait has the ability where Frozen can't be removed when enemies are attacked, which is amazing. So him and Onamaros just make Void Tower Mythic a breeze. You don't have to worry about speed tuning, anything like that. You just need to worry about landing your freezes. On top of that, Tidecaller brings a unresistible freeze, and then also has Frozen on his basic. And whenever he's attacked, he can apply freeze and defense down. But the trait part is the most important thing. It's just all these other things are additional benefits, and they actually have relevance, which is nice. But yeah, the most important thing is his trait where the freezes can't be removed. So he just has high focus, high health, and enough speed. I believe the speed requirement that you're trying to get to is 180. It might be 190, but I think it's 180. So we do have Tidecaller sitting around there. He's just in broken sets. If you wanted to, you could run him in Rebel set just like Onamaros, but you don't need to, okay? You just are basically using him for the unremovable Frozen. The other hero that is really nice in this spot is Jocasta. Jocasta adds a lot to this. She has a lot of really relevant abilities. She has Invincible, which comes in handy on some of these pesky levels, mainly with Dark Nick on stage 17 or 18, I think. So the Invincible is really nice. The heal over time is also good to keep your Onamaros and Tidecaller healthy. But the immune is also something that's really big for a couple of these levels too, because there's a couple levels that that have these minions that put up bombs or poisons damage over time stuff. So the immune is really important for your Onamaros because he does a lot of bonus attacks, and that's really going to hurt him. But yeah, having the heal and then the attenuate, is also a nice thing as well, to remove some of those poisons and stuff like that. But she's mainly there for her immunity and removing of the negative effects along with the invincible. Great hero. Now, if you don't have Jocasta, you can use Hazel. Hazel is an amazing option. So she removes stuns. She removes any negative effect and heals your team member, and then she also revives. So if Onamaros were to die or Tidecaller to die, it keeps your run going. So fantastic hero. And then also she has stuns on her trait as well if you attack the same character 4 times or something like that. So Hazel is a really nice option for Jocasta. Another replacement for Jocasta, but not as good, is Blackhorn. So Blackhorn has similar abilities where he puts out this totem. It removes negative effects at the end of the round. He also has a big heal over time, attack down 2. All of these things are really, really good. The issue is the invincibility from Jocasta is much better. She's also tankier than Blackhorn. So I will show you Jocasta's stats because we are going to be using her in basically all of these runs. So she's in like an arena / Rift of Chaos build, but you do not need her this fast. She can be way slower than this. Just anywhere above 200 is going to be nice. So she's just in that speed set with high health stats. She's booked, which is why her stats are probably crazy to some people, but she does not need to be booked. So that's Jocasta. Now in the 4th slot, you can do a couple different things. Okay, you can run an additional support, so you can run Hazel or Blackhorn if you need more heals. This is going to go slower, but all of your damage is coming from Onamaros. So you can run those supports that we talked about, Blackhorn or Hazel. You can also run additional damage dealers that have some kind of crowd control. So Brand is a really nice option. I know he's a light and dark, but some people might have him. He doesn't need to be booked. He doesn't need to be ascended or anything like that. All of his damage comes from true damage. So I have him built in a similar way as Onamaros, just in stun set and high health and focus, because you want to land the stuns. His speed is over 190, and his health is like 31,000. His focus 134. Like I said, he has all like true damage, so he's just there to survive and then do additional damage. So Brand is a really nice option. I have a feeling that Horseface is going to be pretty good here too. Ignoring defense, he should do a lot of damage, stuns. He heals himself, so he's a pretty good tank. And then on top of that, he's just reducing his ultimate ability cooldown. He also has a health increase by 10%. So pretty nice. We could test him, but I don't think it's necessary. Zoltan is another really good option. He used to be able to solo a lot of this stuff, but with the buff to Crazed Urzag, you actually can't complete that stage. You kind of need Onamaros or the twins to beat it because Crazed Urzag can one-shot you. So Zoltan really isn't best in class here anymore. Another option is, I think, Guan Yu. So Guan Yu, anytime Onamaros does his bonus attacks, like if somebody misses their turn, Guan Yu's going to come in and do his joint attack. So I actually think that he's going to do a lot of damage. On top of that, he has no positive effects, so this is going to be relevant for Dark Nyx stages. So we might actually run him. I think we're going to do Guan Yu because he's a light and dark killer. And he's also a green unit, so much easier to get than, say, like the Brand the Brilliant. So we're going to run Guan Yu, Jocasta, Tidecaller, and Onamaros. So last thing that I want to go over is if you don't have Tidecaller, right, which makes everything just so much easier. If you don't have Tidecaller, that's okay. You can still do it. There's going to be more RNG. But what you want to have, or at least what I have found best to work, because I used to do this without Tidecaller, is you want to have Onamaros be the slowest in your team. So you want him to be around 190 speed and everybody above him. The reason why is because whenever he freezes people, if he's last in the turn order, then the people that going in front of him won't have the chance to remove the frozen, which has the ability to ruin your run. So I do want to add that caveat. Just have him be last in the turn order. Okay, so what we're gonna do, we're gonna run some of these levels. I'll walk you through how the team works, and then we're just gonna like auto through it. And then after that, basically what we'll do is we'll wait until we get to some of the funkier stages that people tend to have issues with, and we'll walk you through how to complete those. So I think there's only going to be like 4 or 5 of them. So it's going to be a longer video today, guys. I needed to preface all of those things before we got into the video, but without further ado, let's jump into some of these battles, and we'll talk about some of the harder to beat areas, and hopefully get you guys to clear this content, because it gives you a free legendary hero every month, which is great. So let's slot in these heroes and jump into Void Tower Stage 1. Okay, so you can either have Guan Yu as your attack lead, or you can have Jocasta as your defense lead. If you're running Brand the Brilliant, you probably want to put him in there for his health. We'll add Guan Yu in here just to speed things up. And yeah, we'll go from there. So we'll put this on auto, and we'll just show you, how well this works. So with Tidecaller being in there, Onamaros goes in and gets freezes on 4 of the 5. And as you see, none of the freezes are actually being removed. So we're basically just speeding through this. You see how much damage the Guan Yu and the Onamaros are doing. So Onamaros is doing 64,000 damage, which is just absolutely nuts. We're getting a lot of deflects here, which is a bit annoying. So if you wanted to manual it, we could use Tidecaller here to put on some of the frozens that are missing from Onamaros, but we're doing enough damage to just buzz through this. So if you didn't have Guan Yu, to do all this additional damage that he's doing, the Onamaros with his max health would be doing enough damage. Jocasta's in there to keep everyone healthy, put up that invincible if they end up getting an attack off. This is what most of your stages are going to look like, but on the stages that are a little more difficult, we'll talk through those here once we get to them. So I'm just going to auto this because we haven't, come across any kind of pesky levels yet. And I'll see you on the next level. All right, stage 1 down, on to stage 2. You saw there that Onamaros was getting attacked a little bit, but Jocasta just kept him healthy, between all of her abilities. So that's her main purpose. Okay, on to the next round, and I'll see you when we get stuck next. So just a quick note here, if you guys were to get to this spot, I would focus down Jocasta. On auto, if you're on auto, you can click on the hero and it'll target them. So I would, yeah, like I said, I would just target Jocasta. Sorry, Yolanda. Okay, on to stage 3. Let's see if there's any pesky heroes here. I'm guessing this one's still easy. Oh, okay. Actually, this is where Jocasta's immunity comes in play. So these Valukes, they end up having, when an enemy attacks an ally, they can apply poison. This will kill your Onamaros very fast. The Guan Yu might actually end up dying here too, but the most important thing is to have Onamaros, just because he's your main damage dealer. So if you're running Jocasta, this is where that's really nice, but if you're using Hazel or Blackhorn, you need to be a little weary here. I would say you can use, what's that spell? There's that jump spell from the Witch, where you can take your slowest hero, maybe Blackhorn or another support hero, and use that spell to put on Onamaros, and it will cleanse all of the poisons. So, but because we have Jocasta, we have the immunity here, so he's not going to get hit by any of those poisons. So, anyway, back to the video. All right, stage 3 done. So other than that part at the beginning, where you want to put up the immunity, that's the only tricky part. So stage 4 here. Let's see what we have here, if there's anything tricky. Okay, yeah, so this is another good instance where Jocasta is really nice. So the invincibility for Onamaros here is going to be really nice. I will say that these spells are pretty convenient. So if you have Tidecaller going after Onamaros, if he has high focus, he's going to have a pretty good chance to land that stun, which will then trigger Onamaros' trait. So if you put up the invincibility, the reason why we're doing this is because these Rajas deal damage based on like max health whenever you attack them. So if you have the invincibility up, he's not going to be able to deal damage whenever you're attacking him. So that can kill Onamaros pretty quick, which is why Jocasta is really nice here for the invincibility. So if you didn't have this, I will say that you probably need to speed tune your team where Blackhorn is at the back or Hazel is at the back, where after he does his bonus attacks, you can bring in Hazel to either revive him if he dies from killing the Raj, or you can do a max heal with her to get him back up to full health. But this is obviously where Jocasta is just coming in clutch, with the invincibility. So here, when you ultimate, okay, so you see how we got 4 freezes. This is amazing. We're going to do a lot of damage here. The invincibility is also going to protect Guan Yu whenever he does his bonus attacks. So because Tidecaller has, an unresistible freeze on the ultimate, we can nab this last one. But let's say, you had 2 enemies here that did not have any kind of crowd control. You could use the stun spell on one, and then you could use your freeze on the other. So that is an option. We'll just 2-turn freeze the Raj. Yeah, so here we don't have to worry about that retaliation because we have the invincible up. on our heroes. So anyway, continuing with the run. This is another good scenario where if you're on auto, you definitely want to target the Imogen. The Imogen can just do a crap ton of damage to you if she gets a turn. And she does like all these joint attacks even if she doesn't go in the turn order. So you definitely want to target her. Maybe you manual this spot just to make sure that you can stun her with the stun spell or 2-turn freeze her with Tide Collar. So that is something to note, but we're basically closing this one out, and then we'll move on to the next level and see if there's anything tricky that we got to worry about there. So on Amaros will finish her off, or Tide Collar. Okay, Guan Yu does it. Okay, on to the next stage. All right, let's see what we got here. Okay, so with the Light Nick, this is a really nice spot for Guan Yu to make sure that he puts up the no positive effects, so you don't have to deal with Light Nick surviving. This could be a little tricky with Onamaros just because Mythasia is green, so that means he might not land his freeze a lot, but if you have Tide Collar, he has that unresistible frozen, which is just amazing. Or you can use the stun spell if you have another support hero in there with high focus, whether it's, Brand the Brilliant, if you're bringing, a high focus Blackhorn or Hazel, for her stuns. So all of those options are available. So anyway, let's jump into the auto run here, and let's see if we get stuck anywhere. I forget what the opening heroes are. Okay, so yeah, I'll just catch you if we get stuck or if there's anything important to bring up. So this part here actually can get a little tricky if you don't freeze these little bomb guys, because they will explode. But if you have them frozen or stunned or controlled, then they're not going to be an issue for you. So if you just keep along this track, you should be fine. Nothing tricky here. Okay, so here, one of these little guys actually got this bomb off because we didn't control them. So if we don't kill them in amount of time here, we might end up failing this because I don't know who he's going to kill. It's just going to depend on if... okay, so he's down to 1 turn. Yeah. Oh, so we put up the Invincible from Jocasta, which is really nice. So we're not going to even have to worry about that. So the bombs are going to go off. So, yeah, we got lucky there. Well, actually, we didn't get lucky. The whole thing worked out as we were hoping it would. So that's nice. Okay, so here the Guan Yu actually dies, which isn't a bad thing, just because it can show the Onamaros being your main damage dealer and clearing. So here, that's what I said. Onamaros might have a hard time freezing this Mythasia because he's of a weak affinity, but if you have Tide Collar, you can put the unresistible up here, which is amazing and takes care of the Mythasia. So you'll want to have Mythasia be your main target because you don't want her to heal everybody back up, so or revive them. So we're just going to focus her. Everyone's frozen or stunned, so you don't need to choose anyone else with Tide Collar. But as you see here, all of this max health, if you don't have the Guan Yu, Tide Collar and Onamaros are more than enough damage to clear most of these stages. That 4th hero is kind of just an auxiliary hero. So we're just going around, we're stunning, we're freezing everybody that we can. We're going to make sure that we kill this Mythasia so she doesn't revive everybody. And then it's going to be smooth sailing. We're even going to, if you wanted to, if you didn't want to bring this heal spell, you could bring the revive spell to bring back like a Guan Yu if he were to die. So that is an option. So we landed the freeze there from Onimaros' ultimate. So we're in a good spot here. Alrighty. Deal with the bat being reborn, but Tidecaller went in there and stunned him before he had a chance to ult and maybe kill our Jocasta and reset. But this will wrap up this stage. So there you go. Just doing it with Tidecaller and Onimaros is certainly possible. You don't need the Guan Yu. It just he tends to speed up the runs. So we will we will talk about this stage. This guy, Lodric, tends to be a real issue for a lot of people. So we'll talk about that. We'll get to him. I know this is a real sticking point. So the thing that you want to do here, we will bring the revive spell and we'll bring the stun spell. You really just need the stun spell here, but the revive is going to be nice if our Guan Yu dies, because this is going to be really nice to put up on... I believe you can put it up on the Celestial Cane because it's unremovable. This is a really good stage for Guan Yu. Don't need him, but it does get a little bit trickier if you don't have him. But let's run this stage and we'll talk about this. I can't remember if there's anything. Okay, so we're just gonna auto until we get right around the middle of stage 2 because we want to have all of our abilities off cooldown. So we'll auto this and I'll come back to you here in a little bit. Actually, we'll restart this run real quick. Just because you saw there that archer girl can counterattack and put up bleeds. So that actually killed our Guan Yu. This is just bad RNG. So we'll run back in there. We'll take this off auto and make sure that we freeze all of these people, so we don't have any issues here. Okay, so we'll put this up. We'll go in and we'll try and freeze with Onimaros. Okay, so we got freezes everywhere. We'll put a freeze up on the Marion, and then we'll just go from here. So there is a possibility that some of them don't get refrozen, and we could run into the same issue with the counterattacks. But it looks like we got pretty lucky here. So we're just going to kill them just because of how annoying they are. We will focus this Marion because she puts up like unkillable. So this is just making the run go a little faster. Okay. So now we're in a good spot. All right, so we'll stop it here because we want the ultimate off cooldown. I need to see where Onimaros is at. Okay, so we have the ultimate from Jocasta back up, and we will have the ultimate from Onimaros back up. So we don't have Tidecaller, but I don't think that's going to be an issue. Actually, he might get a cooldown here going into the next round. Okay, so this is the tricky stage, right? Because this Lodric counterattacks anytime he's stunned. He removes the stun. So if you have multiple people that have the ability to crowd control, we have the stun spell off here, which is a bummer. But if we land a freeze from Onimaros, that's going to be good because Tidecaller can then put up the frozen or stun. So something that people don't realize is this Lodric has a once per turn clause. So if he gets frozen or stunned multiple times, he can only remove it once per turn. The C Cane makes things interesting here because he also removes debuffs, so you kind of have to focus him down first or you're going to run into an issue if you don't have Guan Yu. This is a tricky stage for sure. So we'll put up the Invincible. Let's see if we land the freeze. Okay, so we didn't, but we landed it on the Celestial Cane, which isn't bad. So right now, I think what we're going to do is we're going to focus this Sea Cane down first because he is a bit annoying. He has this clause right here. When attacked, gains 30 speed and removes a negative effect from all team members. So you don't want to attack him if he gets frozen here. Okay? You want to target somebody else. We got the freeze from Brand because he attacked Tidecaller, so that's nice. Here we'll just kind of hit this Lodric. Okay, so Lodric's attacking on Amaros. We're going after the Brand. Okay. And then we attack Seacane. Okay, so we killed him. So this is good. Alrighty. So we're just going to heal back up our Amaros. So we're going to try and stun or freeze this Lodric so he does his counterattack. Okay, unlucky. we'll loop back around to this. We will... I think we'll try and freeze this Thomas. Okay, good. And then we got the freeze on the Brand, so that's also good. Here, we'll just we'll try and take down this Lodric again. A little chip damage. I'm hoping I don't kill him with Guan Yu. Okay, so there he got the freeze, actually, from attacking Tidecaller, which was a little unfortunate. Okay. So I'm trying to get cute instead of just kill these people, but here, what we can do is if you have this stun spell, and you have all single target damage dealers, what you can do is you can completely avoid this Lodric and let the stun proc the bonus turn or bonus attack from Amaros. So if you do that, he won't remove this stun spell. He needs to be like attacked, but I don't know if I stun him here or freeze him if he'll kill our team, but we'll try it. Jeez, I'm getting really unlucky with these freezes. Okay, anyway, what we'll do now is I'll just show you that if we put this stun spell up here, see, he doesn't remove it, and then whenever we have the ability to go in, whenever he takes his turn, because he's stunned, he'll miss it. Amaros will go in, attack him, probably stun him then, and then he'll counterattack. But the Guan Yu should be able to finish him. So we'll 2-turn freeze him. We got lucky with the freeze there. I think we'll just try and finish off this Thomas or the Brand. Okay, so let's see here. So here he misses his turn, right? We did get the freeze that time. That's where he counters, which is annoying. But the Guan Yu should have enough, yeah. So we're going to have enough damage here to kill him. So I hope that made sense. So if you have the ability to freeze him or stun him with this stun spell, you can get really big damage off to kill him, or at least get him down low enough. So here we want to completely avoid Lodric, because we'll just kill him with Guan Yu. And we'll just attack the Thomas there. And we'll go in and we'll just slowly chip down this Thomas to clear this stage. So we'll keep him frozen with the Tidecaller and then just chip him away with Guan Yu. So that's how you do that stage, is you put up the stuns. I hope this made sense, because I can't go back and do it again. If you get one stun on him or a freeze, he's going to counterattack. But then if you freeze him or stun him again, he won't do it again, and you'll be able to do enough damage with him with the Amaros or Guan Yu if you're running him. So that's how you beat this stage. We will have another option to run here, at least with Lodric. You won't have it with Celestial Cane, but that's how you beat those stages. You bring in that stun, or you just have multiple crowd control heroes to make sure that you can deal with the Lodric and the Sea Cane. The important thing there is to kill Celestial Cane first because you get into this battle where he just keeps removing his abilities. If he's the last one on there, he'll remove the crowd control every time you hit him. So if he's the last one there and you're just running Onamaros as your damage dealer, you'll never have the Frozens up because you just keep attacking him. So that's why you have to kill him first. All right, on to Void Tower Stage 7. All right, that one was pretty straightforward. On to floor 8. So same thing here, like putting up the immunity on the Onamaros is probably going to be your safest bet because these guys can put up, I think, burns. So you got to be a little wary of that. Yeah, so here he just killed he killed the Guan Yu. I'm going to restart just because it'll take a little bit longer if I don't have him in there. And we'll manual this first part to make sure that everyone's crowd controlled, either stunned or frozen. I hope everyone's seeing that this is pretty straightforward. So as a general rule of thumb, if you guys are paying attention to this, you know, you might want to take things off auto and just single attack people whenever you get to this part, just so you have all of your ultimates and stuff back up. By the time you get to the boss stage, it'll just help with your clear on the boss stage. So Onamaros' ultimate is back up, so is Tide Collars. You don't really need Guan Yu's for the most part. So here, a couple things. You can put up the Invincible because he puts up those poisons again. You can put up immunity as well. So we'll just do that. We'll put up the immunity on the Onamaros. Here, Lydia might end up being an issue for you because she can dodge, but I would say that you definitely want to try and kill the Blackhorn first because he has that totem that removes negative effects. So he can remove the Frozens and things like that. You might run into stages here where if your Onamaros isn't tanky enough and you miss an attack on Lydia, she can counterattack and kill you. So you might have to restart. So here we got to dodge. So thankfully we didn't die. Because we stunned or CC'd everyone else, we're going to try and stun her. Okay, so we got lucky there. The stun landed from the Tide Collar, so we won't use his ultimate, and we'll just go into auto again. So here, this is what you're looking for, you know, some luck on your attacks from Onamaros, landing these things so you don't get any kind of dodges or anything like that on the Lydia. Because the Blackhorn is stunned, that's good. Now, Brand can also remove negative effects, so you definitely want to try and stun him too or freeze him. Keep him crowd controlled. Here we have some accuracy losses, but we ended up killing the Blackhorn. So here with Guan Yu and the Onamaros, we should be able to take down this Lydia eventually. Okay, right there. So on to the next stage. Floor 9. We're cruising here, folks. Again, hope this is pretty straightforward. We've seen this guy before. Go in, put up the immunity so we don't have accuracy down or anything like that. If you don't get the full stuns or, you know, you miss, you know, you only hit 2 or whatever, then don't be afraid to restart. You know, it's okay. Just go back in there until it's, you know, easy for you to auto and just get through these stages quickly. So if you're manualing this, this is where you want to keep this guy frozen. But we have, you know, some decent heals from Jocasta where we're not having to worry about dying. So we did get lucky there with, you know, having enough health to get into the next stage, and now we got heal over time up. So we didn't have our ultimates up, which is why Anomaros didn't get to ult there. So we might have to restart if we take too much damage here before we loop back around to things, but the invincible might end up saving us. So Anomaros almost died there. So we have unhealable here, so we don't want to actually put up the heal. We gotta hope to... Okay, so we got pretty lucky. We got all three there, so even though they were of a negative affinity. So lucked out. Just keep on going here. This boss stage is also really easy and straightforward, so no explanation here. So this is a case where the AI is really dumb. You see, we're targeting a hero that has control immunity up. So in this instance, you got to restart and probably manual because the game can be dumb. So just go in there, and if you want to manual, you probably focus down those Dulovs first because if they get that turn, they'll put up the control immunity. So just... focus them down with your stun spells and things like that. This one's a little trickier just because of them being a green affinity. You know, Anomaros is weak to them, so you can deflect just like that. But if you have the stun spell and Tide Collar, you're going to be able to breeze through that. So here we didn't get the stun or freeze on him, so we'll have to manual back around to this. Here we'll just focus down the one that didn't get frozen, get as much damage as possible. So we targeted the one, pretty close to killing him here. Pretty nice. Okay, back to auto. Here, you can target the CC if you want, just because she's going to heal people up, but you tend to have enough damage anyway. To kind of get through this, where even if she goes and, you know, starts healing people, it doesn't matter because you have enough damage from the true damage to make sure she doesn't heal them up enough. So here she got it off. That's okay. So we'll just target the one, and there we go. So now you'll see we have enough damage. And then CC will eventually fall off, and then we'll focus her. Alright, so we're going to take this off auto because, again, we want all of our ultimates back up for the boss stages. And then once we have that up, we will then just full auto again. Alright, boss stage, full auto. Here, again, if you just want to target the Yolanda, you can, but we got the freeze, so we're basically full auto here. And you can click on the Yolanda to make sure that you target her. All right, floor 10. The boss stage is fairly straightforward here. But again, here we have our poisoners, so you want to put up the invincibility on your Anomaros. We'll go in and we'll 2-turn stun this guy. Got a little unlucky with the ultimate from Anomaros, but we're still in an okay position. As long as these guys die, we're going to be okay. So we're just manualing, on the heroes that don't have the crowd control. So we make sure that we're getting our damage from the Anomaros. So we've got those 3 poisons up. It's nice that we're going after that guy though. But the heals from the Jocasta, whether it's the heal over time or her basic ability, is enough to keep our team alive here. But if they were to die, so now he's at 5, you just have to restart. But looks like we're okay. Alrighty. So this is another one of those minion guys. So if you don't stun them here, you wanna target them with the Tide Collar. We weren't fast enough to take it off auto. Yeah, so he puts that up. So now you definitely want to focus him, because you don't want him to get that bomb off. Or if you have the option, we might be able to loop back around to it. Loop back around to the invincibility with the Jocasta before that goes off. But we might end up killing him here if we get good RNG. Okay, so we didn't go after him there. But I think we're still going to have enough damage. Nice. No. Okay, so he died, but it's okay, because we have Anomaros, and he's just going to take us to the Promised Land. So we'll try and freeze this guy. We'll freeze this guy. Ooh, so he barely survived. Oh, no. We still might be able to do this, even though the Jocasta died. I forget. Oh, yeah, the boss stage is... So here, this gets a little tricky because the Goobeg gets multiple turns. So I think we're going to revive. Okay, so we got Jocasta, which is good. The Joseph, he's another one that you kind of want to focus down. There's no real right person to focus down here between Joseph and Goobeg. Both are nice options. You definitely want to keep your Tide Collar healthy here, because you want a 2-turn freeze on this Goobeg because he takes multiple turns. So if you have the 2-turn on him, right there you saw the ability to negate both of his turns. So that was really big. So here we'll just go in, we'll try and stun or freeze the Hassle. We did. So here he's going to get 1 bonus turn. I don't know if it's going to be enough to kill us, though. Ooh, barely survived. Close one. Again, this is going to be tough, because he's going to be able to counterattack here, or bonus attack. So we'll see if it does enough damage. Oh, we didn't freeze. Dang it. Yep, so this is a fail. Bummer. Get to the end stage there. That's where RNG's just gonna come in. You just you gotta hope that he freezes on the Goobeg's turn. You gotta have back-to-back freezes. Anyway, we'll auto this, get to the stage again, and hope for better RNG this time. So here we're just gonna restart because we didn't get enough stuns and freezes from the Anomaros, so unlucky. And then our Jocasta, because she doesn't have good focus, she's wasting that stun spell. So that's a bit annoying because we're just wasting something for no reason. So here we'll do the right thing. There we go. So now we got the stun spell up. So we can stun this guy, and we can ult that guy. Our invincibility is going to save us here from all of these poisons. So that's good. All right, so we're going to have our full team ready for the boss, which will make the goo bag much easier to deal with. So here, we will put up the invincible. Joseph's pretty fast. Get the stuns up. Stun the Marian Shadowblood with the spell, and then we'll put up the 2-turn freeze on the goo bag, and then focus him down with our Guan Yu there. So both of his turns, there you go. It's like easy then once you have the Guan Yu and everybody. So here, if the Joseph didn't get frozen, you definitely want to focus him down, but we should have enough damage just from the Guan Yu and Anomaros turns, yeah, where we're just gonna smoke through this. So now there's no threats, so even if the Joseph wasn't stunned there, we'd be okay. So the goo bag, I guess, makes this one a little tricky just because he takes 2 turns, so he gets through the frozen. But if you have Tide Caller, you can put that 2-turn up, and then you have enough damage to the Guan Yu. This stage gets a little funky because the Marys can actually remove all of those negative effects. So this one, we might have to manual as well. Yeah, see, this is a stage where it actually might even be better to bring in, you know, another just support hero instead of the Guan Yu. So if you have like the Brand the Brilliant, you can bring him in, but we'll just keep this in and we'll make sure the dumb RNG doesn't take place here, which is exactly what happened. Man, Mary's kicking my butt. Maybe we don't use the invincible right away. Maybe we just use the defense up. And then we'll use the invincible next time around. So because the Mary cleanses... yeah, let's put defense up here. Let's see if that helps. Okay, we're just gonna get some freezes here. This is nice. Try and chip away at the Mary. Okay. Bonus turns, okay. So, I could easily bring in Brand here, but I know that might upset some people. You know what? This is probably a good stage for Badmar. Yeah, it's a good stage for Badmar because the AoEs from those red heroes at the beginning, this will be good. So Badmar, really nice option. Maybe even Jonathan, although they put up no positive effects. So Badmar is a pretty good option here. Man, that might be limited. But you could bring in Blackhorn over the Jocasta here as well. If you don't have the Badmar, that could be another option. So yeah, let's put this on auto and see what this does. See those heals there. much better. Much more bearable. So then here, I wish Tidecaller wasn't so stupid and basically attacked the same guy that already is controlled. It's kind of annoying, but here we'll focus down Mary. Yeah, the Badmar's coming in pretty clutch there. Get those heals off. Man, this thing is so sensitive. I clicked on Mary and it went up to this guy. Alright, so even with Jocasta dead, I think we're still going to be able to clear this. It's just going to take a while. Yeah, so these guys can also be pretty tricky if they're not frozen or stunned. But this is a nice showcase of Lodric here. So what we'll see whenever we put up the AoE frozen, let's take this off 2x speed. So this is actually a great stage for Badmar, not just on stage 1, but even stage 2, because when Lodric counters, he'll do an AoE, so he'll heal everybody back up. So let's see if we get the stun on him. Okay, so he was frozen, and now he counters attack. This is great, okay? So if you guys are having issues here, one, Tidecaller can freeze him again, where we don't have that issue, and he's just going to do a lot of damage. Or if you didn't have Tidecaller, that's where you can bring in that stun spell and hit the Lodric, and that's whenever the Anamoros is actually going to do a lot of damage to this Lodric. And that's how you eventually chip them down. If you have 2 CCers, that's what I mean. You can just have, you can make sure that you, after the first one's removed, you have the second one to make sure that you're doing the bonus attack from the Anamoros to kill them. So you're just going to go through the same thing, you know, next round. So if you wanted to, you could try and freeze him and then stun him, but we're not going to focus him down yet. We're actually going to worry about this guy because he has a 1-turn kill if he gets off his bomb. So we don't want that to happen. So we'll worry about this Lodric later. Because we have Badmar there, we don't even care because we have so many different heals, which is amazing from Badmar. Alrighty. So again, these guys are kind of an issue. Okay, so we got that up. Alright, so we're getting some good RNG here. We'll speed this back up. One guy down, back to the Lodric. So he did get the freeze from the Tidecaller, but that's okay. So again, just going to keep focusing down these other guys. We keep healing up with Badmar. Anytime the freeze from Tidecaller gets placed on the Lodric. Alright, so we're almost in a pretty safe territory here. Here we actually will AoE because we need to freeze both these guys. Amazing, and then we'll do this. Okay, now we'll go after the Lodric. Okay, so again, he gets the freeze off. That's okay. Let's see if we get the freeze off this time. We do, so he'll counter. Okay, so the Tidecaller froze him, but again, if we didn't have that up, we could stun him here. But because we don't need it, we're going to do a lot of damage here because we're going to do the bonus attack from Onamaros from the passive, and then we're also going to do the end of round attack. So we're going to do a lot of damage here. So 54. Oh, actually, I guess we just missed it. So here, again, same thing. Frozen from the Tidecaller. And then we're just chipping away. That's all we're doing. Chip, chip, chip. Frozen. Heal back up. Freeze from the Tidecaller. Chip damage. That's how you deal with Lodric. If you didn't have Tidecaller here stunning, you just wait till the stun spell loops back around. And then he eventually dies. So here you have to be a little bit worried of this Vance. Because he is green, so he might be a little tougher to deal with. Nobody here really has anything to do with positive effects, but if you're bringing somebody like Jocasta, she puts up a bunch of positive effects, which will grant Vance that extra turn. So maybe it's best here to bring Blackhorn, even though he's of a bad affinity. He can bring the totem instead of his heals, so maybe you just auto that part. So we'll just focus down the Vance here. So sadly, he did kill the Tidecaller, which was unlucky. But we will get a 2-turn stun up here, and this still should be enough with just Onamaros and our Badmar to kill everybody. So everyone's frozen or stunned. We will use the stun spell on the Orion, just in case we miss that, and then try and freeze. Nice. Okay, so this is all working out. We're getting nice freezes here, so we're getting some good RNG. Almost took down the Vance. We have the freeze up. Oh, that was actually dumb. I forgot that I don't have Tidecaller anymore. So that's where okay, I got lucky. So whenever you don't have Tidecaller, you can actually have the Frozens removed. That's the nice thing about having him in a Rebel set, though, is if he's in Rebel, the Rebel can't be removed, or the stun can't be removed if, you know, a Tidecaller or something like that dies. So even though we lost, you know, our heroes, we still were able to finish it just with the Onamaros and good RNG. Yeah, so that last stage was actually a little tricky with the Marys. Didn't expect that. But it did let us showcase, you know, how to deal with Lodric. So I think that was a nice stage there. I'm not quite sure what I would have done with Badmar. I guess I underestimated how important Brand the Brilliant was in that stage in the past. But still able to do it without a LD there. You can bring in that Badmar. Again, on this stage, you definitely want to focus down the Imogen. You want to do those stuns there, either the stun spell or the 2-turn freeze from your Tidecaller, but we did get lucky with the freeze on her, so we'll just stun here. We'll put up the 2-turn frozen, because if not, I don't know who he was going to focus. Alright, so this stage is going to be a little tricky just because of the Crazed Urzag. You got 2 heroes, you got him and Imogen, that are a real issue. You definitely want to focus down the Crazed Urzag first, I think. Guan Yu is going to be so clutch here because bonus turns, or is it bonus attacks? I think it's bonus attacks. Yeah, so he won't be able to do his like spinny thingy, which is really important. So he's going to come in clutch for the boss there. So, like I said, this boss stage issue, just because this Urzag has way too many bonus attacks, and he does damage based on his true damage, so it's like an Ascended 2 Crazed Urzag. So, if you get unlucky here and get like no freezes or something like that, that would be an issue. But thankfully, you know, we had the ability to freeze the 2 issues here. So we're gonna stun this William, and then we're gonna 2-turn freeze this Crazed Urzag. Sadly, we don't have the ultimate up, but because we got the freeze, I actually think we're gonna be okay. We got another refreeze. All right, and we had enough to take out that Crazed Urzag. If he gets a turn, you're gonna fail. Here, you're probably going to be okay, because even if the Guan Yu dies, the Anamaros is going to be able to take out the Jacob. He's going to get a bunch of bonus attacks if you let it go on too long. But here, he's probably just going to take out the Guan Yu or the Jocasta, but then it's smooth sailing. But yeah, this is a little tricky one if you don't get the consistent freezes on the Crazed Urzag, because he will one-shot. So the AI here is pretty dumb, kind of annoying, but you should have enough damage, I guess, with the Guan Yu to finish off these people. But yeah, it's kind of frustrating that they go after heroes that are like already frozen or whatever. But here you definitely want to focus the Savannah last, because she's going to put her attack up on somebody, and you don't want that. Here, because we have Windstrex left, and I knew I was going to be able to finish her off, that's why I just killed her there. So anyway, killed the Anamaros, but Guan Yu does enough damage to finish her off. Target the Cirrus first, because he could be an issue. And then probably the Antinua. So all I'm doing here, guys, is if you see me like manual or take stuff auto, I'm just focusing down people that don't have any kind of crowd control on them. That's all I'm doing. Trying to get the freezes, and where I do, I'm then just targeting the next hero that doesn't have crowd control, and then I put it back on auto, and then we go from there. Alright, so I think this is the last hard stage. This Dark Nick can end up being a handful, so we'll walk you through this stage, and then I'm pretty sure 19 and 20 are just full auto. So here you have those guys again that just have the accuracy down and poisons. You got counterattacks. Here, I think we have enough, even though we missed on 3 stuns, we have enough crowd control where we don't have to restart this. So this stage actually can get a little tricky. These guys heal a lot, so you want to focus them down. Make sure that they're not healing each other. It gets kind of annoying, but if you have enough crowd control on them, it's not an issue. But if you guys ever do this on auto and you wonder why it fails, it's probably because you're not getting freezes or stuns on those heroes, and they're healing up their team a little too much. So for this stage, we are just going to go in, we're going to chip away at all these guys, try and have all of our ultimates back up. This is the first time I'm actually doing this with Guan Yu instead of like Brand the Brilliant, but it should still be successful because of the no positive effects that you can put up on Dark Nick. So I think that's the important thing here. So let's get through the rest of this stage here, and we'll get to the Dark Nick stage. Alrighty. So on this stage, you got to be aware of a couple things. So the Yolanda is, can be an issue. Just because she puts up the big shield, she puts up immunity on people, and she removes negative effects. So you still want to focus her down. I would save up Guan Yu's ultimate if I were you guys. The other thing that you want to save up is the ultimate from Jocasta, because whenever Dark Nick does this big ultimate nuke, if his health is really low, he's gonna just kill you. So you want to wait until this is off cooldown to use Jocasta's ultimate, so whenever he ults, he doesn't wipe your board. So right now, I think we're just gonna basic ability here. We're gonna try and get some nice stuns off or freezes. Okay, so we ended up freezing everybody, which is amazing. That's what you want. And here we'll just focus down the Yolanda. So Kane actually ends up saving all of the heroes here. He does some damage mitigation. So here, what we're going to do, we're going to save up Guan Yu's ultimate for now, because we got Dark Nick down fairly low. We want that no positive effects up on Dark Nick, so he doesn't get his shield, and he doesn't get his stacks of invincible. So we can basic ability on the Yolanda here. Basic attack on the Yolanda. We can even 2-turn freeze this Dark Nick for extra measures. And here, this is where we ultimate and put up the no positive effects. So even though he got the shield, he did not put up the invincibility. So that's how you take him down with Guan Yu. If you have Brand the Brilliant, you just try and keep him stunned. You make sure you focus on having that invincibility up from the Jocasta in case you get unlucky with your stuns. But this one is, again, pretty straightforward if you get your freezes off with either the Anomaros or the Tidecaller. So that's really the last hard stage. I think everything else here is really straightforward. But yeah, so that's basically it. We'll keep on autoing until we reach one of the harder levels here. All right, final stage. And again, this one's just kind of easy. I think you want to focus down, you know, you want to focus down the Mythasia on the boss stage. Here we have Rajas again, so again, you want to put up that invincible so Onamaros does not die. We got good stuns and freezes. So this is an easy stage 1 clear, wave 1 clear. All right, and then we just get to the boss stage. So here, you really want to focus down the Mythasia, but the thing you have to worry about is if you don't stun or freeze the brand, he's going to remove the freeze from Mythasia. So just be a little, cognizant of that, because that could be a thing. So here, there's a really good example. So we froze the Mythasia, but we did not freeze the brand. So here we go. Go in there. So the Nathalia does put up the immunity if you don't freeze her, so that is something to be aware of. But she shouldn't do enough damage to take down, you know, your entire team, whether it be the Guan Yu or the Onamaros. So once the immunity comes off, so there, see, we did survive it. It was close, but we did it. So she's going to do her best to try and kill us here, but I think our Guan Yu is going to be able to survive. And we got just enough in there. But if you guys were having issues with the Nathalia there, you know, you just got to make sure that you freeze her before the immunity goes up. But our Guan Yu is going to have enough damage here to kill her. You can also stun spell there to remove the immunity. It's going to remove one of those negative effects or positive effects. But there you go, guys. That is how to clear Void Tower Mythic with basically the same team throughout, other than switching in Badmar for one of those teams. So what you get there is you get this free legendary summoning crystal. We'll pop that to end the video. I hope this helped. I hope you enjoyed it. I know it's a real long one, but I know some people get stuck on stages even though they have the right heroes, so I wanted to provide, you know, a little bit of a walkthrough to help you guys out. So here we're hoping for some nice dupes of, you know, relevant heroes. Let's see what we got. Oh, wow, that's a really good pull. I'm sure a lot of people would like that one. I did get lucky and pull them on the limited, but it's nice to have them A1. So anyway, that's all I got. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.